At some point or another, you've met a friend, family member, teammate, or coworker that hates certain foods or is a very picky eater. You yourself may even be the picky eater. It's nothing unusual and is a commonplace for children and adults both. If this is the case for you, cast your worries aside, because believe it or not, it is very possible to change the settings of your taste buds. Yes, it will take some persistence and patience, but if you put in the work, you should be able to start liking whatever it is you're currently despising. Today, I'm going to run through some steps to help show you how to hack your taste buds. You may be wondering where habits start in the first place. Usually eating habits form during childhood. A lot of children will even go through a phase called the neophobic period, when most habits are formed. Neophobic period may sound like it's hard to understand, but all it is referring to is the period when kids hate anything new presented to them. If parents don't keep trying to introduce the foods they fear or think is gross, picky eaters are often the result. The big question here is it even possible for anyone to change their taste bud preferences? Although scientists are continuing to research this, the research that is available supports the fact that most people should be able to change their preferences. There are only a couple exceptions though. Your genetics. If you're a super taster. A super taster is someone who is gifted with insanely sensitive taste buds, especially to bitter taste. Genetically speaking, it has been revealed through many studies that some taste preferences can even be formed as early as the womb. Depending on what the mother eats during pregnancy, it could affect some of the taste buds that you have. If there are any reasons why you can't change your taste buds, these two things would be the reason why. Why should you bother even trying something you hate? Some people just like a challenge. But there are several reasons one would like to be more open-minded with food. Making a fuss at a restaurant trying to customize everything to suit you. No, that's not necessarily bad, but it's aggravating for you, especially when they mess it up. Then you have to ask for it to be fixed. Or you have to pick around it. When traveling, especially abroad, you will come across all sorts of strange foods and cultures. You don't want to miss experiences because you don't want to try new foods. Or if it has something in it that you don't like. A true traveling nightmare is when you hear of people going to a country like France and eating McDonald's every meal. Also, you could be at someone's dinner and come across a childish or rude food order due to your picky preferences. Children also learn from what their parents eat. Leading by example and teaching them not to be afraid of trying new things play an important role in them not being picky eaters themselves. I'm going to run you through 4 simple steps to help someone start to like food that they hate. Step 1, exposure. If you hate a food or a few, this is the hardest part of the process. You're going to have to bite the bullet and repeatedly eat the food that you hate. There's no way around it. Frequently, including the food that you hate over and over, is the only way you're going to get yourself to like it. Humans will learn to like what they are continually given. We are creatures of habits. Backing that idea up is several studies that have shown that children must be exposed to a new food at least 15 times before they will begin to adjust to that food. Step 2, adjusting with foods you like. A basic trick to the trade is simply hiding the foods you hate with a food that you really like. Some examples of that: baking the hated food in a muffin or a casserole, mixing it in a stir fry or rice bowl. Another good way to mask the bad taste is with seasoning, sauces, and condiments. Some examples would be soy sauce and rice, garlic, ketchup, or ranch with disgusting vegetables. In Science magazine, they have shown that children that were given sweetened broccoli eventually started to actually like the taste of broccoli by itself. Step 3, discovering what about the food you hate. Why is it that you hate a specific food? Is it purely the taste? Is it how it looks? Is the smell nasty to you? Or did you get sick eating it once and now you can't stand it? Based on why it is that you hate the dreaded food is important. You need to tweak the method of how you expose yourself to it. For instance, if the smell, you might want to try to camouflage it with sweeteners. If it's the texture issue, try to find a recipe that can change enough to curb your problem. Step 4. Experiment with recipes, using all the information that's already been learned to help hide the hated food. Try fusing all these ideas together into some recipes that you might actually enjoy eating. A major key is not being afraid to get in there and experiments to find a good balance of ingredients you like. Diversity is your best friend here. Turn the meal into something you've never tried before. Not much of a cook? Just come up with ideas. No problem. That's what the internet is for. Start Googling for recipes and going on YouTube for some walkthroughs. Finally, as studies show, most of you can overcome not liking a specific food you hate. The problem is you must really work at including the food into your diet and fight through the initial gross taste you have for it. All those people who have thought that it was completely impossible are wrong. It is really a possible task. Unless you are genetically set up for failure, you can step by step hack your taste buds into liking certain foods. If you are ready to take on the stubborn food that you hate, this is the adventure for you.